If you're looking to save your geraniums from the cold of fall and winter, you're in the right spot. In this video, I will share 4 ways to overwinter your geraniums so you can bring them out again once spring weather arrives. Let's get right into it. The first way is to simply bring potted geraniums indoors. This is best done when temperatures drop below 55 degrees Fahrenheit to avoid frost damage and stunted growth. Here's what you'll need: pruning shears, a new container and fresh soil if you're repotting, warm water, a pebble tray filled with water. Start by pruning any dead foliage. Examine the plant and trim dead or yellowing leaves using the pruning shears or scissors. Check for signs of pests, such as spider mites and leaf disease. Ensure the plant is not root-bound. Once you have removed the dead or damaged foliage, check that the plant container is still adequately sized. Summer growth may have caused the plant to outgrow its container, so now is an excellent time to repot the geranium if necessary. Place the plant container in the shade. Moving plants indoors means they will be subjected to lower lighting levels. This can affect their ability to photosynthesize if this move is made suddenly. Placing the plant in the shade will help the plant acclimatize to lower lighting levels. Leave the plant in the shade for 1 week before moving the container indoors. Place the plant container in warm water for 10 to 15 minutes. This will drive slugs and insects to the soil surface. If you notice a lot of insect life in the soil, use an insecticide, like all natural neem oil, to remove the bugs and repot the plant before bringing it indoors. Place the geranium in bright light. Geraniums require a lot of bright light. However, they can tolerate moderate indoor light. Place the plant in a south-facing window, or in an area that receives at least 8 hours of light per day. If the light indoors is too low, the use of a grow light may prove practical. Next up, you can dig up geraniums planted in the ground and grow them as houseplants. Geraniums grown in the garden will naturally die off at the end of the growing season because they are annuals. However, to keep your garden-grown plants from dying, you can transplant them into suitable containers and grow them indoors. To do this, you'll need a garden trowel, gardening gloves, pruning shears, ceramic pots or containers, fresh soil, and brown paper bags. Start by selecting healthy geranium plants to pot. Using the garden trowel, dig up the healthy plants you wish to grow indoors. Place in the new containers and fill with fresh potting soil. Prune the plant and water thoroughly. Prune the plant down to 1/3 of its original size. Water the plant well and allow excess moisture to drain thoroughly. The soil should be allowed to dry out. Bring the plant indoors before the temperature drops. The best time to move the plant indoors is when temperatures are still temperate. This allows the plant time to gradually adjust to the drier humidity levels indoors before the heating goes on. Another method is to store bare roots over winter. This method, also called dormant storage, involves removing the plant from the soil. The plant is then hung in a cool, dark place, protected from freezing temperatures. To do this, you'll need a garden trowel, pruning shears, brown paper bags or twine, and a spray bottle with water. Start by removing the plant from the soil. Using the trowel, dig up the plant or remove it from its outdoor container. Then, using your fingers, gently remove the excess soil from around the roots. Prune the plant to half its original size using the pruning shears. Place the plant in a dry area to allow it to dry before storing. This will prevent the plant from developing mold or rotting in storage. Using twine, hang the plant upside down in a shed or dark room protected from freezing temperatures. The ideal temperature range for dormant geraniums is 50 degrees Fahrenheit. Alternatively, you can store the plants in brown paper bags. The bags should not be sealed to allow for airflow. Throughout the winter, check that the plant does not become too dry. Moisten the roots with a little water and allow them to dry thoroughly before placing the plant back in the bag. Don't be alarmed if all the leaves fall off. The stems are alive. In the spring, approximately 6 weeks before the last frost, place the dormant geranium into a container of fresh potting soil. Remove dead or damaged foliage. Water thoroughly and apply a diluted fertilizer to encourage growth. Place the container in an area that receives indirect light and allow the plant to come out of dormancy gradually. It should take about 2 weeks for new green growth to show. Once the risk of frost has passed, Move the containers outdoors or plant directly into the soil. The final method involves taking cuttings of the plant and rooting them indoors over winter. Geraniums are easily propagated using stem cuttings, and it's these cuttings that can be used to overwinter your geraniums for the next season. To do this, you'll need a sharp knife, rooting hormone, a plant container, water, and a clear plastic bag. Start by selecting a healthy green stem and snip a cutting approximately 5 to 8 inches long. The cutting should be taken just above a node. Strip excess foliage and flowers until 2 sets of leaves remain at the top of the cutting. Dip the new cutting in rooting hormone. This will help encourage the cutting to develop healthy roots. I've included a link to my favorite rooting hormone in the description of this video. It works wonders. Now, fill a container with fresh, well-draining potting soil. Make a hole in the soil about 2 inches in depth and plant the cutting into the soil. Press down firmly on the soil around the cutting. Place the container on a windowsill or counter with access to bright light. If indoor lighting is limited, place under a grow light. Water regularly, ensuring the soil remains moist while the cutting is developing roots. Rooting should occur in about 8 weeks. Once rooted, continue to care for the new plant indoors until the spring. Here are a few answers to other common questions about geraniums. Should geraniums be cut back in winter? Geraniums, over time, naturally become leggy and woody. While this type of growth is typical for plants growing in the wild, it doesn't make them very attractive for the garden. Cutting geraniums back promotes healthier plant growth and keeps the plant compact and bushy. If you are overwintering your plants indoors, prune them in the late autumn before bringing them inside. How do you get geraniums out of dormancy? Plant the dormant geraniums into new containers filled with fresh soil. Prune any remaining dead foliage and water well. Apply a diluted liquid fertilizer to the soil around the base of the plant. Because the plant has been kept in the dark over the winter, place it in an area that receives bright indirect light. This will help the plant acclimatize to the light and slowly encourage the plant out of dormancy. I hope you found this helpful. Let me know which method of overwintering you like best in the comments below. And as always, if you found this content valuable, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more plant care tips and growing information.